Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Juma, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Looking at the participants list here, we are privileged to have our big mama in the house, Iyom Josephine Nene, Nigerian women mother. You're welcome, ma. My mentor, Felicia Onibo, is in the house. Our UN women experts, Desmond Taluba, you're welcome. Auntie Faith Adedube from 100 Women Lobby Group, you're welcome. Mariam Demanjaji, you're welcome. Auntie Mujidat Agbabiaka, you're welcome. And many others. I can't mention everybody. We really, really appreciate your sparing us this time. We don't intend for this meeting to take more than 40 minutes. So I will just go straight to hand over to our anchor for this evening to take us through the points of discussions. Auntie Felicia Onibon, over to you, ma.
Okay. Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. We are actually very happy to have everybody on board. We do hope and believe that more people will join us this evening. You know, we all are aware of the season we are in, the 16 days of activism towards ending violence against women and girls. You know, particularly we are also very privileged, you know, at this time, you know, that the whole world is talking about this, and the whole world is also strategizing on how best to handle these issues. You know, therefore, it is pertinent for us in Nigeria, particularly those who are advocates of you know, programs like this, advocates of issues like this, you know, to bring to fore, you know, especially at national level, what is going on around the country. It's also important for us to know that apart from all the things that is happening at the center in Abuja here, that in other parts of the country, you know, women's groups and government agencies are campaigning against sexual and gender-based violence, and showing the seriousness that government has put into this. This particular meeting, you know, yes, is at the instance of the National Resource Center for Women in Politics. And the reason the meeting is taking place at this time, and it's also something that looks impromptu to a lot of people, is that it's necessary for us to take specific actions, you know, at the very right time when it is necessary. And it's also important for us to know that from time to time, people will be called upon to come in or come out and sit together to strategize on issues that affect all of us. You know, the electoral process have started. You know, we are asking for more women to come out and exercise their franchise. We are saying that women leaders should come up. We are looking at both young and old, you know, getting interested in politics. And as we are advocating for that, as we are encouraging and sensitizing our women to get involved as much as possible, some people just feel that women shouldn't be part of the process, and they gun them down. We have had the case of the PDP woman leader in Kogi State, who was killed under a very gruesome circumstance. And till this day, we are not happy about what has happened concerning her case. Yes, people were arrested. We were told that some group of people were jailed for 6 years. For somebody that was killed like that, well, while we are still brooding over that, here we are again in this very, very season, towards the end of the month of November. Another woman politician has been killed. So it's necessary for us to talk about this and to strategize on what to do. It shouldn't be swept under the carpet. It shouldn't be one of those killings that in another 2 weeks or in another month, everybody has forgotten and we've moved on. It has to be nipped on the bud, particularly at this time. We must not discourage or get any of our women discouraged by keeping quiet. Something has to be done. So what we need to do is not in the purview of only one person. So we have to talk about it. We have to come up with different strategies that we can use in curbing this kind of scenario throughout the season and beyond. So that's why we have called you all to please join us, in fighting for the right of even the dead, because justice has to take place. The government needs to do something, the police needs to do something, the judiciary needs to do something, and the investigation at the level of the police, should be thorough. So let us see what we can do. Let us see whatever points can come up today. And of course, these will then be pushed to the necessary quarters. So I want to welcome you all, and I want to warmly thank our mother, Iyom Josephine Nene, for joining us at this meeting, because we need the words of wisdom from her kind within us, amongst us. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you, every other person that has joined us today. God bless you all. And may the soul of sisters that have gone under this kind of circumstance, may their souls rest in peace. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
So the floor is open. I see that Iyom would like to speak. I would want you to please lend your voice to these issues. We'll appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Again, always, what did they say? Ambushing me. Now you said I would like to speak. Anyway, I would like to say good evening to everybody who's on this call, and to thank you, the national coordinator, Mrs. Felicia Onibon of 100 Women Lobby Group, for the wonderful work you are doing across the nation. And
thank you, ma'am.
You are feeling the impact. Just yesterday, I was with the Anambra branch of the 100 Women Lobby Group in a workshop yesterday, where they were, training women politicians and encouraging inclusion of women in politics and how to navigate the electoral process. It was a very good meeting, and I'm sure you'll hear about the outcomes. Yes. The only thing I want to say now is that we are not talking about women who want to contest now. You've mentioned that every woman should be encouraged and sensitized to come and exercise their franchise. Get your PVC and vote for the right people, for the people you know that will make the country better for us. But more importantly, what I want to talk about is the security. You find that the men are able to afford security, because security now it's not just the state providing it. Individuals have to look for their own security. There are a lot of security outfits, and they pay for it. Even when you want the government one, even the police, they have a commercial department where you can go and pay and be given policemen to take, go around with you and take care of your security. I would encourage women to not to overlook it, because the times we are in now, we need to be alive to be participants in government. We need to be alive to be politicians. So we need security. So I would encourage women, especially those who are contesting, and those who are in party office, who have positions, in party offices, to invest in getting security around them. That is very, very key and very, very important to me at this time. As meeting goes on, we are not, you said any such will be more than 1 hour. But if there is need for me to intervene based on what I will hear during the meeting, I'll be very happy to do so. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm very grateful. And yes, the point that you have brought out is something that I haven't heard anybody talk about since we started this whole season of campaign against violence, against sexual and gender-based violence. The issue of security for women, and the issue of, the comparison between women security, women's ability to have their own security, and men having ability to have their own security. I think it's an area we should look at closely, and perhaps, when advising women politicians in planning, that they should also plan for their security. People overlook it, or it's really becoming very, very necessary. The floor is open. Anyone who will want to contribute, please, the floor is open. You can let us know by the show of hand, and you will be acknowledged and allowed to come on board. Thank you. Yes, please. Blessing.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to say we must, as Nigerian women, first of all, condemn the act. I don't know how much noise we have made in our different forums, especially as we are currently having the 16 days activism going on. How much noise we made to say we condemn this act. We condemn this act. If it were possible, I would say let's do a rally, go to the police headquarters or any security agency to record that this should not continue, so that it will be clear that yes, we condemn the act first.
Then, possible. So we'll take note of it, and I think it's very, very possible, and I think it's an action that will take place very quickly as well.
Okay, ma'am. I think that's what I have to say for now.
Okay, thank you. I can see Dr. Oladeshadu had put up her hand a few minutes ago, but I'd like to take Ebi Emezue.
Good evening, all. Thank you for this great opportunity. I just want to say that the Honorable Minister today came out with a press release condemning the act and calling on all necessary security bodies to look into it. Also, I want to say this gruesome murder of women is becoming too much, especially those ones in politics. In 1996, Suleat Adedeji of blessed memory was a renowned politician in Ibadan that was killed in a gruesome way. And till date, thinking that over 25 years after then, the heart would have, died. Rather, more women are dying due to the affiliation to politics. So, like what Mommy Yom said, more needs to be done concerning women, security, and politics. There's no way we should go down on that. We need to do something and something fast. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abby. Thanks for that. And indeed, a lot of women's groups have been condemning the act publicly. We have Women in Politics Forum. They put up also their own press release today, condemning the act. So I'd like to call on Mujidat Agbabiaka, then Dr. Nosala Deshelu will follow, please.
All right. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Yes, Mujidat from the Nigerian Women Trust Fund.
Okay.
Well,
good.
Thanks, ma'am, for the initiative. It's a worrisome trend to see that women are being killed day in, day out, especially when election is getting close. That's to mean that while we advocate for more women participation, somewhere people do not also want this to come to fruition. They do not want women to excel in politics, and they want their voices to be suppressed. That said, NWTF actually also issued a statement earlier today. We condemn the act, and we also feel that as part of the discussion at this forum tonight, we could also engage security agencies, meet them one-on-one, the IG. We can speak to the IG and call for immediate arrest and prosecution of all these perpetrators. It's long overdue for issues like this being swept under the carpet, and there are no results. People get killed and nobody gets justice for these women. It must stop, and I think we can push for by visiting the IG and requesting that we find a closure to this anomaly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mujidat. That's very, very, a very good contribution to this process. And I think we'll look at it closely before we round up this program. Dr. Nosala Deshelu from Benin.
Thank you very much. It is a pity and highly lamentable that almost in every election season, we have reports of women being murdered. And of course, they are murdered by men, most unfortunately, in which case it comes a time when men are afraid of women. I just want to share a bit of my own personal experience in the share of violence during election, and to say that one has not really put me off in taking more active part in politics, for which I also want to encourage each and every one of us. Because when you hear about 5 or 7 years ago, the woman leader of PDP was murdered in Kogi State, and this season before, many days before election, the leader of Labour Party, the woman leader of Labour Party in Kaduna State murdered. I mean, you don't know. Is it because women don't really carry a retinue of police guards around them that they find it very easy to slaughter them, or what? I think the point that Iyom has raised is very, very important. That is something we should consider as women in politics and women actively in politics, particularly those of us at the front, in the front row. I think in 2016 and in 2020, I suffered quite a bit of violence from the members of the opposition party in my state, particularly in my ward, to the extent that in 2016, while I was trying to run away from the group of, armed boys who were bent on attacking me at the election field. As I was running away, as my driver was running away, they destroyed my windscreen and used all sorts of heavy gadgets on my car. And as soon as after that election, I had to replace my windscreen. That is to show my practical experience of violence in the election, because I was a leader of on the other side of the political divide. Again, in 2020, all because if somebody I got warnings. My members of my family also had dreams that I was going to be attacked, and who knows, it might even lead to the end of my enemy. I know how we say it in Nigeria. So, but I just kept praying. I said, well, if God is on my side, He is more than any that will want to work against me. And with that conviction, with that courage, I went into my word. I went into my word very well in the evening of that election day in 2020 for our governorship election, there to say. And right there, as I entered my ward, I went straight to the police station to get police protection to enter my house. And I was there in the police station for quite a while before the police would even arrange his boys and his officers to follow me to give me an escort to enter my house. Well, unknown to me that the leaders of the other party against my party had already paid in full to the police for whatever things they were going to do the next day. And it was the same police I was asking and requiring to protect me. But not to worry, I was escorted to my house, to my place of operation that night. And after a while, the police left, and they left me to my fate throughout that evening and throughout the night. At midnight, some armed people came to my gate, and because I locked the gate, they wanted to gain entrance into my house. I just have to say a prayer and say, Lord, this is not what you promised me. You promised me full protection. And just as I begin to pray and begin to watch, people around my house, ensure that nobody went out to open that gate, and they left. By the next day, I went to go and cast my vote and also to manage my unit and my ward. So that when women come show, chest out in election like this, we need protection. And sincere protection, not like the one that police give you to say, and I say, so far you want police protection, we don't give an make go stand, make go sleep on the house. Which one be woman own for this matter? So the issue is that we must keep, hitting on the security agencies to protect women. Women may not have all that money that men are using to get police guards every day, going around everywhere, to attend parties or to do all that. But whatever it is, the police protection for women is getting more and more necessary and very, very important, so that more women will get interested in taking part in politics. Violence in election is driving many women again from voting and from taking part in politics. This is therefore very, very important for us to put up a program to ensure that women are protected and they feel secure during election. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that insight, direct insight into what a lot of women politicians face. Our sister from Ebonyi also had her story to tell at a time. Unfortunately, she's not on this line with us, but there are reasons for action. We have Osalobo Osemeje with us. You have the floor, please.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. And I also want to join everyone in the house to greet our mommy, Joseanini, for taking her time to join this conversation. Ma, we appreciate you greatly, and we want to thank you for the good work you are doing. And of course, we also believe that all the people you have met are actually working very hard, and they're working assiduously from different angles. Once again, we want to thank you. Well, of course, I want to join others also to, as an individual, condemn the act of violence against women, especially at this time of the year, when everyone is working seriously to see how we'll be able to position women towards the 2023 general elections. Of course, what happened recently is something that we actually bring down the morale of so many of our women. From our side, UN Women, we have been trying to do a lot, moving from one part of the country to another, in ensuring that we are able to support our women to contest for the 2023 general election effectively. Well, I think just like what our issue is still very fresh in our mind, and of course, what happened a few days ago is something that is unacceptable and condemnable by all human beings with right thinking mind. Well, on this note, I want to thank the center for organizing this convening, which of course the first one since the setting up of the resource center, and we are very appreciative of that, and we strongly believe that this resource center will provide opportunity for this kind of dialogue, and as we progress, I'm sure we'll begin to have a national discourse to this resource center. And of course, we're also looking forward to see that we fast track to launch the Calabar Center of the Resource Center and that of Maduguri as quickly as possible, so that we'll be able to have, whenever we are having this kind of discussion, we'll be able to have people across all the 36 states of the Federation to join the discussions, which are, of course, for me, this is very germane and apt, especially this particular time. Well, another area I also want us to look at as we progress is having to bring in some political candidates, maybe female candidates, of course, to also join in the discussion. And of course, they will be able to tell us some of the challenges they are going through, and that will also inform the strategy we could profile in moving forward. And I'm also aware that some national CSO advocates are already speaking, condemning this act. The minister, of course, spoke, and yesterday, 2 days ago, during the 16 days of activism organized at the UN House, that also was also spoke, and we also condemned that act. So I think for us as an organization, we continue to support our allies, our advocates, giving them the voice to ensure that they are able to come out and speak against this act, which is very, very unacceptable in this modern time. And they also want to ensure that as we progress, also maybe in the next, there's going to be next one as soon as possible, then we can also have an agenda shared earlier. And
Yes.
that will also enable us bringing more donors to join this discussion. So on this note, I want to appreciate the National Center for Women's Development, and of course, the resources. We look forward to a resource center that we actually be very fortunate. I'm very happy about this, and as we look forward, we begin to look at it in a very global perspective that we enhance the participation of women and ensure that our women are able to take the right position in the leadership of this country. Thank you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Salabo Semide of UN Women. Thank you for being a very strong pillar of support to women, to the cause of women in Nigeria. Of course, we know that we do not have as many women as we want in parliament and in governance in general. But then when we look at what has happened in the past, we will see that there had been quite an improvement in terms of awareness raising, and many more women are actually coming out to speak out and to indicate their interest in leadership struggle. I'd like to call Ekundayo to please come on board.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, Professor Ekundayo, Choli. Okay, yeah, please.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I just want to talk about the killing of women. I think it is cowardice, and I think women should talk about it. As many as I talk about, many women do not just say because people have talked. We should all be talking about it. It is highly condemnable. We should condemn it. It has just started with that of Kogi State and now Kaduna State. I think we should all rise up and condemn it and let them know that we are not going to accept it. Because if we keep quiet, they will continue to do. Like our body said, and then we should seek protection. And not only just police protection, even the local protection in their locality. I think they should get people and get boys and get men and get people who can secure them. They just want to discourage women from politics, and we should be able to stand. And every woman that is going to politics knows that she has to be determined, because so many things become their way just to discourage them. And if we allow ourselves to be discouraged, I'm sure the number will continue to dwindle, but we should not allow that. So we should all get up and continue to talk about it, and continue to condemn it wherever we find ourselves. Let them know that women also have a chance in politics, and so we cannot be discouraged. We need to be determined, and determination will give us a win.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind contribution. Yes, it's very necessary for us to act and to condemn this kind of act. It must not continue in Nigeria. I would like to call on Jumai Modu. You indicated interest in speaking. Please.
Yes, good evening all.
Good evening.
Jumai Modu from National Center for Women Development.
Okay.
Well, I will just like to ask, though I also condemn a kind of counsel women how to love and support each other. We should kind of counsel them on the issue of pulling down syndrome.
Please, could you just give me a minute to announce that if this goes off, we can still come back online almost immediately, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm happy to join this group. I also condemn the act of violence, but also a kind of we should advocate, especially the new political candidates that are coming.
I would like us to continue. Can Jumai Modu please come on board again with her intervention, with her contribution? Is Jumai with us?
Hello, yes, I'm here. It's like the line went off.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
I just want to add on, apart from the condemning, we should also like counsel women or advocate on how to support each other. We should love ourselves, you understand? Because this issue, let's try and avoid this issue of pulling down syndrome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that. The floor is still open. More contribution? Okay, it's important for us to actually lend our voices to this. And for those who have spoken so far, we appreciate you all. I would want us to actually begin to look at the strategies for action. You know, what can we do quickly? I've been hearing people say things like, you know, we should engage the police on this matter. You know, we should engage the police. We should also look at other critical stakeholders that that can speak to these issues. You know, and just as you know, one of us said earlier, you know, about the fact that, you know, men are afraid of women. Why would any man want to kill and gun down a woman totally? Men are afraid of women taking this position. And it's all about cultural issues. It's all about patriarchy. You know, is there any way we can stop this? Who are the stakeholders that can lead us in ensuring that this thought pattern stops? No. So more contribution, please. Yes, you please introduce yourself. We only have number of your phone. Go ahead, please. Who are we? Y6. Who is this? Please introduce yourself. And then
okay, hello everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Uzoma Aneto.
Okay.
I work with Ndodoko Foundation. The foundation gets towards giving access to justice for women, children, and persons with disabilities.
Okay.
I am also interested in women involvement in politics, having taken particular interest in a master's program I did, which is on election and party politics. So, and I had a dissertation whereby I had to x-ray what it means for women to be involved in politics, to have representation and persons with disabilities since 1999 to 2019. And obviously what is being discussed this evening is just part of the issue that is affecting women from participating actively in politics. So having x-rayed that, and it's for us to maybe factor ways to move forward and to see how things change. I would like to sound a bit different from the notion that says women are actually the problem or women pulling down women.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in that school of thought. I don't believe in that because what you see when the men fight is the men that get murdered more. Men are more vicious in getting what they want. And they don't come down to say, oh, men support men, don't be jealous, don't pull her down. For me, it's a human behavior. It has nothing to do with the women. So I don't particularize it and say, that's how women do. No, it's just a human behavior, and it is more on the men. Men that have been involved in politics over the years, we have seen how they perform and how they go about getting what they want. They don't spare anybody. They don't spare anything to do to their opponents. So I would rather look at it as a human behavior rather than a women thing. Having made that view, I would like to also suggest that as a research center, maybe we could actually engage the media more, in the sense that the campaign is not really out there to see the need for women to vote for women, no matter the level of engagement or the level of position the person is vying. I think we have not been able to get that message. Why did I say so? When this about the bills that were thrown out sometimes early this year, and the women put up a great fight at the National Assembly, yet nothing came out of it. I don't think Nigerian women has sounded enough warning or has shown much resistance if certain marks are not made in these 2023 elections. Because the men need to get the message very clear that their acts are unacceptable. Whatever they did at the National Assembly is unacceptable. Is it possible for us to get to the representatives and the members of reps that voted against that bill or those bills, one after the other? Because it doesn't make sense if they stay in the chambers, rubbish women's efforts. They will not need the same women in their different constituencies to now come out and vote for them. Is it possible to carry that campaign further for the Nigerian men to know that women now mean business? You cannot go and say you are representing a constituency, and then when issues concerning a larger number of that constituency comes up, you rubbish it, and you then go back again and expect that same constituency to vote for you. That is, it's an anomaly. So I think the way to move forward, part of this should be tell the Nigerian men we didn't forget what they did to us early this year. And we need to call them out. No woman in their locality, such campaign has to be taken further, should be seen voting for them because they were against their welfare beginning of this year concerning being part of representation in elective and political positions.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much for that suggestion. And also, just as a point of information, the issue of the 5 gender bills is still on the table, and there is still continuous dialogue with the members of the National Assembly. Women are warming up to go back, since not much has been done on the part of the legislators, and we have constituency teams, high-powered delegations in every state of the Federation engaging with the constituents of the various politicians. So things are moving. It may look gradual, but as the elections have, as the electoral process has taken up, we are still hoping that we might still be able to touch the hearts of the legislators for something to happen. Yes, your suggestions for action has been noted. Thank you very much for your beautiful contribution. I'd like to call on Madam Mudupe Adetula. You've had your hands up. Please, can we hear from you? Is Mr. Adetula still there? So if not, I would like to say that at this time we begin to come up with more strategies. What do we do? What action do we take? Is there an immediate action? And I think there should be an immediate action. The police should hear us out. Other security agents should hear us out. Can we have Mrs. Adetula now quickly and then Ebi.
Good evening. Good evening,
evening.
ma, and
Good
good evening,
evening.
everyone.
Good
Yes,
evening.
what I wanted to say is exactly what you just said. It is my desire that we should go back to the National Assembly members who refused to pass our bills, that we should ensure that we still meet with those that are very, very difficult to reach, and ensure that those bills that we have placed before them should be attended to by them. And I want us to even consider this woman's plea. That's Mrs. Apoti, maybe Uduanga now, from Kogi State, who is alleging that she has received a lot of threats to her life because of her senatorial bid for 2023 general elections. And I think she cried out for women groups to assist her in getting some people not arrested, but at least for her to have sense of belonging amongst the women group. That's why she cried out. I saw her on the channels, and she was saying that all through the night she was receiving threats. Although we have not had anything now, but we shouldn't wait until things begin to happen before we do something about what she came up with. So we still need to really reach out to these National Assembly members, particularly those that will be coming back, in the 2023 general election. We need to reach out to them, those that have not really yielded to our plea that they should pass those bills. Those bills are very, very important. And until we ensure that these bills are, we did a lot in those states, but we have not really achieved much. So I think we should still go back to it and ensure that those bills are passed. We cannot just leave it halfway that way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That's encouraging, because we need a lot of this encouragement to be able to go back. And thank you, Mrs. Adetula. Your suggestion is noted. Eddie,
with regards to the 5 bills, we should know that we as women, we are not an homogeneous group. Everybody has their own opinion. And so we've been told that there are some women too that voted against the bill. So we should work on such women for them to know why we are doing this, and also continue to work on those gender-friendly men and the ones that have not, been convinced yet of the need for the bills. We need to work with them in different segments. Also, with regards to security of the female politicians, we need to do more sensitization, advocacy, even to the female politicians, for them not to be discouraged or deterred in contesting, because all these are part of discouragement for them not to participate in politics, which we should not allow to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think on this note, we should also, come up with an action that either a mass action that takes us to the police, or or the executive asking that women be protected, and we should also be specific, even with people like Akpoti Oduaga, who have sort of cried out for help. And, we don't want to hear any ugly news around her. She should be protected. So these, I think, are actions that the center will also look at. The resource center, it's a wonderful initiative. It's being supported fully by the UN Women. Nigerian women are appreciative of this gesture, and I believe this will be a good opportunity for women to engage with the resource center, with ideas and with initiatives that will improve the lot of the Nigerian women, particularly women in politics. So on this note, I would like to ask if Josephine Anene would like to give us a word or two to add to our strategies, and then we'll agree in totality when exactly the next line of action should take place. Thank you. Iyom, please.
Sorry, I'm in the village, there's no light. So if I put on my video, you can't see me. So I would have liked you to see me, but you can't see me because I'm in total darkness. Yes, I want to thank everybody that has come today for the very useful suggestions that came out today. I want to also thank UN Women and other funders who have enabled this resource center formation. The DG NCWD, I saw you came in. I hope you are still there. Thank you very much for all your cooperation and assistance.
I'm here.
Yes, Right Honorable. She has a practical experience of serving in the National Assembly before becoming DG. So she knows what the women politicians face, in all its ramifications. So I want to, the ideas that have, been proffered today, if you curate them and work on them, we would have started somewhere. So thank you, everybody, once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Yes, in a few minutes, I think this whole process will end. But I would like to call on Blessing to, to say a few words. I'm sure the DG would like to say something before we close out this evening. Thank you.
Okay, mine is just to say thank you to everyone in the house. I am really, really honored to have us all. On behalf of the Resource Center, I'm sure my DG will say much, but if you need to reach out to us, once you have contact with my DG, we'll be able to furnish you with more information about the Resource Center. We are hosting it in collaboration with UN Women, and it's funded by the Canadian government. Thank you for availing us time this evening. We are grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have the floor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, our mentor,
Good evening,
Mrs. Anene, and everyone. I'm so sorry, even though I came in, but the network did not allow me to participate fully. I want to thank each and every one of us for finding time to attend this meeting this evening. And my sincere appreciation goes to the UN Women, Canadian government, for giving us this opportunity to have this resource center in National Center for Women Development. I want to call on us, all the politicians, especially politicians, we women that have been participating in politics, that we should make use of this platform. We don't know, it is not easy to start a process, but definitely sure this resource center will take us to greater heights. Let us make good use of this platform so that the sponsors will be encouraged to do more for us. You can imagine if we have lost it in the 2023 election, definitely sure this is a good foundation for us to reach to aspire in 2027. And this platform, I'm sure, can lead us to promised land. At least it's one of the sources that we can use to get more women to be involved. Amen. So I thank everyone for participating, and that we'll put heads together and we see how the UN Women and the Japanese, the Canadian government will come in again in another way to maybe support us financially. We'll continue to engage them to help us, because I know that it is not easy for us, for women in Nigeria, to participate in politics. Having said that, I want to thank everyone and pray that God will give us the opportunity to reach our desired destinations in politics. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you know, just in rounding up, the next line of action will be sent to everyone that has participated in this process today. You will hear from Blessing, and within the next couple of days, we would have an aggregate of suggestions from people and take a decision, which will be your decision on what to do. You know, we must not have any woman die again, you know, trying to lead the processes in this country. You know, so thank you very much for a wonderful opportunity that we all have had this evening. And I wish all of us a very good night's rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, ma'am. Before we leave, some people have identified themselves, not everyone. So we would love to have your name, your phone number, your email address to enable us reach out to everyone with the next line of actions. Thank you.
Yes, please put this on the chat box.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Blessing, have you provided where we can drop our emails?
Yes, ma'am, on the chat. The chat.
Okay.
I'm screenshotting. As they are dropping, I'm screenshotting.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uzoma Neto, please, can we have your email address or phone number? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. We need that.
Yes. It will help in sending you messages and giving you all the
and please, we should use our real name than our phone name, because some people, their names are not showing, only their phone. I can see Galaxy, iPhone. We should rename it.
Please, may I say thank you and good evening to Osalobo. He's a man. Yes, he's a man who works with the UN Women, but he's a man that is honestly and passionately interested in the advancement of women. I want to thank him especially for what he's doing for us there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Mommy, thank you.
Thank you, Salobo. Thank you. I call him UN Women. I don't even remember his name.
Okay.
Desmond, thank you. Let me join them to thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Nasa.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I believe we'll be having more interactions on this platform. The resource center is going to be very vibrant, and it will be a space for all of us, you know, to air our views. If you have intellectual materials that you also want to share with them, I believe they will be very happy to have these
And Madam, we are also going to have a toll-free at the resource center, so that women from the rural area who don't have air time to call can call without incurring charges to their telephone.
Wow, that's fantastic.
They will be able to call and give an update, particularly with the electoral violence issues around the elections and what is going on in their different localities. So the center is already going to work with any of the communication companies that will provide all that toll-free, and whenever they call, at least once it is a toll-free and they are not incurring expenses on their side, I'm sure that will encourage many of them to call.
Yeah, thank you for that information. Let Nigerian women use it. Thank you.
I guess we are good to go.
Yes, we are, and I'm impressed by the fact that we are waiting, eager to have action. Salomon, again, I hope you are seeing what is going on. You know, we are all eager, you know, to take action. Thank you. Professor Ekundayo Choli, thanks for being with us, and thank you for your contribution.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everybody. We can end the Zoom now.
Sure.
Good night.
Yeah, okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
One
night.
last thank you to Auntie Felicia Onibom, who within a very short notice accepted to anchor this meeting on behalf of the National Resource Center for Women in Politics in Nigeria. We say thank you, Madam Felicia Onibom. We are proud
You're
of you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.